Welcome to the Livfiit Listens podcast, a safe space of growth, personal development, and overall wellness with your host, Olivia Catania. Diving into the realms of all things health, conscious living, mental expansion, and much more, this podcast is designed to help you evolve into your best self and live fit. Let's get into the show. Hello, you guys, and welcome back to the Livfiit Listens podcast. Today, we're on episode 88. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys have been having a good day, a good start to your week so far, or maybe if you're listening to this at the end of it, I hope you had a very good week. I am very excited to bring this episode to you guys. I feel very passionate about the topic. I'm someone who goes off, like, this podcast is kind of my passion project out of any of my other platforms. I feel like this is what I would really call my passion project because I just I love speaking about things that's really on my heart, things that I'm going through, messages that I'm really feeling come through that I feel like are, really prominent in my current life, and hopefully like pushing that out to you guys. I just love really having a passion-filled episode. So I'm really excited to bring this to you guys. But before we get into it, I have a couple exciting things to fill you guys in on. Firstly, for my gratitude, what I'm thankful for this episode is I am very thankful because my boyfriend and I are going to Europe for the next 10 days. So once this episode goes live, I'm already going to be there. So that's really exciting. I've never done like a big trip like this before with a partner or anything like that. So I'm really excited to experience this. We're going to Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and then we're going to Munich in Germany, and then also a smaller town a couple hours further south of Munich in the Bavarian Alps, It's called Berchtesgaden. I'm sure I'm probably mispronouncing that, so bear with me. And then we're finishing off the trip in Salzburg, Austria. So 4 main locations, like I said, over the course of 10 days. And I really am so excited. I almost feel like it doesn't feel real still. So I don't really even have any expectations yet. Like, I feel like it came so fast. We booked this kind of on a whim. We knew we wanted to go somewhere, but we really had no idea of what trip we wanted to do. Like, we almost did tropical, like totally different vibe. And we ended up like coming up with an itinerary and booking it all in the same day, like not very long ago. So it was kind of a spur of the moment a little bit. So I haven't really had time to kind of, set up any expectations, but I feel like the best times are when you don't have any expectations. But I do know I'm really excited for good food and to just stroll around and adventure. I feel like personally right now, I definitely need a true vacation. I feel like I've traveled a lot this year, but they've always been kind of just I've been in my still normal workflow, but like doing it in different locations for the most part, or I've been, visiting friends and stuff. So this is like pure vacation. We're going to brand new locations, places I've never been before, and just being in full vacation mode. So I'm really excited. I am still planning on, I'm going to try to get a vlog together while we're there and like maybe making a few TikToks and stuff, and obviously posting on Instagram because I love to take pictures when I'm on vacation. Who doesn't? So that's really exciting. So just know that there most likely is not going to be a podcast episode next week, but the week after that I will be back, and we'll be back to our regular scheduled programming. The other little announcement that I want to say is that my merch drop has officially gone live. So merch is available for pre-order at my website. It's livfiit.com/merch, but it also is linked down below in the description box if you're watching on YouTube, or in the show notes if you are listening on a podcast platform. So I have a t-shirt and a crew neck available, and there's shipping available completely worldwide, which is really exciting. It was quite the struggle, I want to say, to figure out shipping and everything, but I found a very affordable way to ship internationally, which I'm really excited to offer that to you guys. So please keep in mind it is a pre-order, so it will take anywhere from 4 up to 8 weeks to actually get your order, or you can kind of look at it as to expect 3 to 4 weeks for your product to ship, but then it depends where you are in the world to dictate how long it's going to take to actually deliver to you. So again, if you're interested, you can shop those links down below. So let's get into this episode. This has been something that's really been on my mind the past few days, and something I've been really trying to tell myself, because to be honest, you guys, have kind of have been in a funk. Like, honestly, the past like 6 months, I want to say I've been feeling on and off, like struggling with being in my power, feeling kind of defeated and discouraged a little bit. Like, I've been feeling that on and off for honestly like the whole second half of this year, unfortunately. But like, there's days where I'm still feeling really good and I'm like, yes, feeling super positive and hopeful. And then there's just other days where I feel the complete opposite. So it's been pretty up and down waves. But lately, like the biggest message that's come through to me that's been helping me lift my spirits again is the concept that if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And I really want this episode to be able to pertain to so many different facets of goals, right? Maybe you're someone who's in the corporate field and you're really trying to get a promotion in your job, or you're trying to increase your performance in your job, or maybe you're someone who's really trying to get in better shape or really progress in your fitness journey, or maybe you are someone who's entrepreneurial that's trying to start their own business. Like I'd imagine those of you who are listening to this podcast that are into personal development, you most likely have big goals and dreams for yourself that you're really trying to set out to achieve. And I think kind of inevitably that comes with the journey of having big goals, right? Goals that are making you stretch, that really are pushing your comfort zone, having dreams that scare you, that seem like you're not really quite sure how to do it. I feel like a lot of times in that journey of trying to achieve those goals and dreams, a lot of doubts and intrusive thoughts come in, right? Maybe, you're getting to the point where you're not really sure if you have what it takes to get that promotion at work, or maybe you don't feel like you're a good salesperson to be able to have better performance at your job, or maybe you don't feel like you're starting to think maybe I'm not as disciplined as I need to be able to, achieve my dream physique, or maybe I don't have what it takes to be a really fit and in shape person. Maybe this is too hard for me. Maybe I can't do it. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this, or maybe you're feeling really defeated because you're not sure what the next step is to take to be more progressed in your fitness journey, or to get that promotion in your job, or to take your business to the next level. Like all these things are so common when it comes to trying to achieve really big goals. And those intrusive thoughts and those doubts of feeling like maybe you just don't have what it takes, maybe you're not cut out for it. Like those are really real and valid. And it's so common to have those thoughts. And I'm just here to tell you that just because you're struggling in those areas that I just listed, it does not mean that you're not cut out for this, right? Like I said, if it was hard, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. So the fact that there's challenge behind it, that just shows that it's weeding out the fact that not a lot of people are going to be trying and chasing the same thing. But that doesn't mean that you're not cut out for it just because it seems like a struggle. Like it's a struggle because it's something big that you're trying to achieve. And that's why it's something rare that you are trying to accomplish. That's why it's something unique that you're trying to accomplish, because it's something that's more difficult. And that's why not everyone is doing it. So that's been a big thing I've been really hearing lately, that's been really loud and clear for me. Like when you get to these obstacles, these blocks that come in when you're trying to achieve big things in life that are bound to come up, right, are just all part of the journey, you have to try so hard and be so present and so intentional with your thoughts, and be very aware with how you're speaking to yourself, and know that no, these obstacles and blocks are not proof to you to say that you're not worthy, you're not capable of achieving these desires that you have. These obstacles are simply just ways to weed out the people that are not as dedicated and as devoted to these goals and dreams that they have. My dad had an amazing quote that I'm actually just realizing now. I can't even believe I didn't intend to put this in the episode, but he said something along the lines of basically that obstacles are put in your path to simply discourage those that are not truly dedicated and committed. I'm going to say that again. Obstacles are put in your path simply just to discourage those who are not truly devoted and committed and dedicated to their goals. And I think it is so true. And I think it's just so something to keep in mind. Like when we hit these roadblocks, when we hit these obstacles, when things start to get really hard and we start to feel defeated and we start to feel lost, like shit, maybe we don't have what it takes. No, these are just tests and ways for you to prove your devotion, your dedication to your goals and dreams when you actually step up to the plate and say, I'm still going to figure this out and I'm going to move forward. The people who are not dedicated, the people who don't actually really want it, those are the ones who are going to crumble and fold when adversity or challenges or obstacles come in their way. So it's more so, a better way to look at it is an opportunity for you to prove and for you to declare, for you to express, for you to embody your true devotion, your dedication, your work ethic, your persistence. They're just opportunities. These obstacles are just simply opportunities for you to truly be able to show your loyalty and your commitment and your dedication and devotion to these big goals and dreams that you have. And I think when you look at it that way, it's kind of just adds a more fun spin on it, and you understand that it's just all part of the game. I think also a lot of times when we have these big goals and dreams, sometimes a lot of pressure is kind of backed behind it, and we think what happens if we don't achieve this, or we have like this certain timeline that we put on ourselves, and we take things so seriously and we think that we're failing. Another amazing quote that I saw recently was that failure is not the opposite of success. It's actually a part of the success. And that was also another huge thing. Like when we feel like things aren't going our way, or we feel like we're not always making the progress that we want to be making on our goals and dreams or our dream life, like we need to understand this doesn't necessarily mean that we are failing and therefore not succeeding. It's all just one big ongoing journey of progression in some sense. Like no matter as much as you think that you're going backwards, like you're still always gaining experience and knowledge in some sense, even if it's not always on paper where your numbers aren't going up or your sales aren't like whatever, not maybe your weight isn't going down and you feel like you haven't gained as much muscle, you still being dedicated and committed to the game and putting your time, energy, and intention into it, you are still always moving forward in your own journey, even if it doesn't look like it on the tangible, measurable, numerical scale. And that's like a really huge thing to keep in mind. These adversities and these challenges that seem like they're setbacks that are separating you and making you get further away from success, they're all just a part of it. Because how can you actually succeed in anything if you haven't learned lessons, if you haven't gained experience in something? Very rarely is someone achieving a mastery at something on their first try. It's all about trial and error, experience, doing it, and just jumping in and getting your hands dirty. And so a part of that success, in order to get to that success, inevitably failure had to be there. Some of the best athletes in the world, in order to achieve their level of expertise, mastery, skill, you think they never ever missed a shot? No, like the way that they perfected their shot, the way they perfected their game was by seeing what wasn't working and improving it and perfecting it that way. And that's what made them have such a high skill set. So it's not that failure is the opposite of success. It's not like if you're hitting obstacles, you're not really sure what to do next. It's not that you're gaining distance away from success. It's actually just all in a part of the journey as a whole. And another huge thing that's coming to my mind as well, I don't know why all I'm thinking of is freaking quotes in this episode, but something so huge as well is that success is not freaking linear. And I don't know who needs to hear that, but it's not. And I think sometimes, on social media and all this stuff, like we see kind of these picture perfect worlds that seem like, oh, this year I did this and the next year I progressed like this, the next year I progressed like this. Like just the reality of it is not every year is going to be better than the last. Not every year is going to be, blowing past the numbers of the previous year. Not every year you're going to be even in better shape than things are not always linear. It's just not the way that life works. Like everything is always free flowing. And at some times, like I'm saying, those setbacks are just simply a part of the success. So maybe it doesn't feel like on paper, linearly, your success is going up, but it's still all a part of your learning process and evolvement as a human and part of your evolvement in whatever your skill is that you are working towards mastery and trying to improve. And, I know people like even who are older, like my own father now, like he's experienced so much success in his life, but even to this day, like there's things where he feels like he's moving backwards or things that aren't going as well. And he's like, what, like that are, concerning, I guess, if you will. It's like everyone always has these ups and downs and not every single year is going to be better than the last. And that's just simply a part of life. It's kind of almost like the stock market as well. I'm feeling like, not every year, if you were to look at it on the smaller scale, there's a lot of ups and downs in the stock market, but like over the really, really big scale on a lifetime scale, it's always at least subtly increasing. And that's kind of what it is with like the grand scheme of life. Like you might feel like one year you're taking 3 steps backwards, but it's all a part of the process. And on the grander scale of things, you are always going up, for lack of a better term, because you're always still gaining life experience because you're simply just in the game. So I know how just discouraging it could be sometimes when you're working towards goals. And, I also want to take a second to congratulate who's ever listening to this. Like, I want you to know I'm proud of you. Like, it takes vulnerability, it takes bravery, it takes courage to be someone to set really big goals for yourself and to stay so dedicated to them, even when things don't feel like they're paying off. Like, to me, that shows good character, showing up for things that you don't even feel like you're getting a return on right now, or you feel like you're going backwards. Like, continuing to show up proves proves your true devotion, your work ethic, which is worth something. And I just want you to know that I'm proud of you. And I know that sometimes it feels hard, but just know that that's why not everyone is doing it. And if you want to live a life that no one else has, or you don't want to live the average life, or you want to do something different with your life, you need to move different, and you need to understand you need to be willing to do the things that other people aren't willing to do. And you need to be willing to continue to do things, to continue to persevere, continue to push through on things when they get extra challenging, because that's when those who are not committed are going to be weeded out. I really am also someone, again, I'm still in my younger years of life. I'm 24. So I'll get back to you on this when I'm older. But I really do feel like you truly can achieve anything if you truly are committed and devoted enough. I think there's definitely people out there who want the same things as you, who have the same goals as you, who maybe want to live the same life as you. And hey, maybe they're more quote unquote talented in these certain regards to make that happen. But I also know that there's the people who want those same things as you that will probably never get them because they aren't as devoted, dedicated, hardworking, or don't have the same perseverance and consistency that you have. I truly think another quote, sorry guys, I'm a walking quote book right now, but another great quote is that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I'm also a really big believer of that, where sometimes, like, yes, talent is a great thing. It plays a really big role. Like, I believe in that concept of staying close to your natural strengths and the things that you're good at. But you need to understand that something that you can do, to fill those gaps is to prioritize your work ethic, your persistence, and simply just not giving up. Something else I always say is to just never get out of line, meaning that if you stay committed long enough, or essentially in this analogy, staying in line, like let's pretend that you're waiting in this really long line to have your chance to order food. Eventually, when the line is so long, there's going to be plenty of people that are going to say, F this, I don't feel like waiting, and they're going to get out of line. Or essentially, in this exact analogy of this episode, those same people, another way to look at it is they hit these roadblocks, they hit these obstacles and say, F it, I'm done trying this hard, I'm over it, I'm just going to let it go. And they get out of line. Or essentially, with what I've been saying previously, those are the people that get weeded out when there's adversity because they're not truly committed. And once those people are starting to get out of line, when you're the one committed that's been staying there day after day, that has been showing up every day and staying committed and have been persevering, eventually your time is going to come where you're going to be able to get to the front of the line. Especially, it's even going to get shorter now because people have left, and you're going to be able to have your chance to order your food. I know that sounds crazy, but it really makes sense to me. I just say don't get out of line, because if you stay consistent enough and you just don't give up, your time is going to come. I just really am someone who fully believes that you would be so surprised with how much you can achieve simply just based on perseverance. Like, with enough perseverance, I think you can achieve almost close to anything. And I think sometimes for those people who are really trying to become better, right? That 1% who wants to be better every day, or wants to be their best version of themselves and truly discover what their true potential is. Like, I understand that, day after day of trying to give yourself 110% and being there totally mentally and totally being intentional. Like, I totally understand that there's times where it gets exhausting, right? There's times where you're just like, I kind of just I want easy sometimes, right? Like, maybe I do want something that's easy and doing what everyone else is doing. And something that I have to say back to that is, you have your easy once you pay your dues. And kind of furthermore, things feel hard to have what really matters actually be easy. Let me explain. Things that feel hard, back to this quote, if it was easy, everyone was doing it. So things that feel hard, right? That's you getting up in the morning and being disciplined on your to-do list. That's you really sticking with your morning routine. That's you going to the gym even when you don't want to. That's you making a meal even when buying pizza is more convenient, right? All those things that seem hard, they're hard up front for an easier later. I can't. I have another quote. I'm sorry, guys. But something my dad always says is pay now or pay later. And I think that's a truth of life. Your easy is either going to come now up front when you're young, or it's going to come later in life. So you either need to pay now by being upfront, of being disciplined, of getting in good shape, of taking care of your health, of getting your career in order, of, being more disciplined now so that you can have that easier life later once you have established a very healthy, safe, self-supporting life. Or you're going to be paying for that that later when you're older and your health isn't there, your longevity isn't there, maybe you're still struggling, you still cannot retire, you have to work till really late in life. That's basically what my dad means when he says you either have to pay now or pay later. At some point you have to pay, and so it's your choice. And so that time where you feel like, damn, like sometimes I just want easy, you need to understand that your easy is coming, because at some point you have to, I don't even mean this in like a depressive way. It's more so just like the reality of like, you have to kind of show up for life at some point, whether that's earlier in life where you do what you can to get your health in order, your career in line, right? Do the things that don't always feel fun. Maybe it's missing out on some fun things for a sacrifice for the sake of a, higher quality of life. If you're not doing that now, you're going to be paying for that on the back end by not having a high quality of life, of having your health go to shit, of maybe not having as much longevity, of you having to work until you physically can't anymore, etc. So it's really all just part of the process. And the thing is, when you are doing the things that feel hard, right? You're doing the hard of being disciplined with your nutrition, with your workouts, with your career, with your time, all that sort of stuff, with who you give your energy to. That feels hard, but the inevitable outcome that you get back from that is so priceless, and that's where your easy comes into play. So let's say, for example, you're like, wow, I'm really just sick and tired of being the person that has to constantly talk myself up and motivate myself and tell myself to keep going with my goals, even if it feels like it's a shot in the dark and I feel like I don't have what it takes to achieve this goal. I'm tired of constantly needing to reframe my mindset. I'm tired of constantly having to do my affirmations and prove to myself and try to brainwash myself that I have what it takes, that I am beautiful, that I am worthy, that I am deserving. Man, I'm tired of going to the gym today when I don't want to go. I don't want to have to put in that effort. It's so much easier for me to lay on the couch, or I'm tired of having to make my meals and cook when it's so much easier for me to order takeout, all that sort of stuff. You choosing the hard, of doing the right thing in that situation, of taking care of your headspace, of doing self-care, of moving your body, of cooking yourself a nourishing meal, you are a such better off individual because of it. Your energy is better, your mood is better, your cup is more filled up, you are more healthy, you're able to get more out of life because you have more longevity, more vitality, more vibrancy in your being because you've taken care of yourself. And so I think sometimes people lose sight of like this, all of the stuff that I'm doing for myself for the sake of a better life seems hard. I'm putting so much energy into it, but you need to understand the what's the word I'm thinking of? I don't know why I can't think of it. The output from those actions is where you are finding your easy, right? And think of someone who maybe did the opposite. They chose the easy up front, right? They decided to lay in bed all day. They decided to get takeout. They decided to not take care of their headspace. They decided to let their negative self-talk run and not be present in their mindset. They decided to not have self-awareness. How do you think that person feels at the end of the day when that stuff has all been compounding? They don't have a sense of self. Maybe they have super low energy. They feel super lethargic. Maybe they're struggling with their gut health. They have acne now because their insides are not balanced. Maybe they feel like they can't keep up with their friends when they go on a hike or whatever. I'm just using this examples. Like, they are also going to be paying their dues, and they're going to get their hard after the fact from them not choosing the hard up front, if that makes any sense. So just know that there's checks and balances everywhere. And I totally understand that sometimes trying to be your best self gets exhausting. And I want to clarify this episode is to not say that you don't deserve a break. I totally think burnout is a real thing. I totally understand the intuitive portion of this, where I do think there's self-care days where maybe all you do is go for a walk or meditate or whatever. Please do that. I'm not saying to not pay attention to your rest. I'm not saying to run your body into the ground. I'm just saying on days where we just don't have the motivation, but we need to call on discipline to do it anyways. That's what I'm talking about here, where if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. If we only did things when we only felt like it, we really would be getting nowhere, because it takes the showing up every day, day after day after day after day, that compounds into something big to actually have us see big results. I'm a huge believer that you have to show up daily, because if we do it only when we want to, just the truth is that it's not going to get us to where we want to actually be. So understand that even though when things feel hard now, that feel exhausting, that feel draining, understand that there's always a payoff after the fact, fact where you're going to be able to get your easy. And for me, the easy that I listed of being able to be high energy, of being a happy, fulfilled individual, of being someone that's healthy, that has vitality, that I'm confident I'm going to be able to run around with my kids when I'm older. Someone like having all those rewards in life, like to me, that is the easy that I want to choose, not the upfront easy of laying on the couch, of ordering takeout, of not taking care of my headspace, of not having any intentionality with my time, of letting anyone into my circle, even if they are not serving me or have a toxic energy, etc. Like I would so much, like to me, that's what actually seems hard. The after effects of that easy seem way harder to me than the hard of the discipline of taking care of yourself up front. So please, let me be the person in your ear today to tell you that just because things are getting challenging does not mean that it's not meant for you, does not mean that you don't have what it takes. If it was easy, everyone else would be doing it. And you have to stay so true to your commitment to your goals and understand, like you need to know in your heart of hearts that it's something that you truly desire. So you have to know that that's why that in and of itself should be all that you need to know, that it is worth it for you to keep going even when things get hard. It's not that you don't have what it takes. It's just something that it's a different lifestyle than average. So it's going to take different work and perseverance than the average. And I also just want you guys to know that simply the fact that you have a desire in your heart, that's all you need to know that this is what you're meant to be doing. If you have a really strong desire to start your own business, to work, to be a lawyer, to, want to be able to do handstands or to be someone who travels the world, you need to know that you have those desires in your heart for a reason. They are meant for you. So don't think that when you have this desire and you go for it and you feel like things aren't as easy as you thought they would be, or you're getting frustrated in the process because it's getting hard. That doesn't mean that it's not meant for you. That doesn't mean that you're not cut out for it. You have a vision for your dream life for a reason. And simply that seed, that desire that's in your heart is a seed for the potential of the life that you can be living. And you need to remember that. I always use my sister Sophia as an example because she's wanted to be a vet from the beginning of time, ever since she was little. And I never had that desire. I could never care less to be a vet. And so there got times where it was really hard for her in vet school when she wasn't sure if she had what it takes. She wasn't sure if she was smart enough, right? She had all these doubts. She wasn't sure if she was cut out for it, right? But simply just the fact that she had that desire, she knew that it was meant for her, right? That's all she needs to know, to know, like, this is what I'm meant to be doing simply because I have such this undeniable desire to be living that lifestyle. And so that's what she went on to do. She finished school and she is now a vet. Same thing for me. She could never care less to be doing what I'm doing. But ever since I was 17, I've had this itch to be having this public platform and a way for me to express myself. It's something I've always wanted to do. And I struggle with imposter syndrome more than I would like you guys to know. But it's really real for me and it happens for me a lot. And I need to remind myself that, no, it's not that I'm not cut out for this. No, it's not that I don't have what it takes. I have this desire for a reason. And I need to hold on to that. And I need to trust that. And I need to understand that it is simply a seed to show me a potential life that I could be living if I step up to the plate, if I embody who I need to be, and if I really step into my power and my higher self, I will be someone to be able to live that lifestyle. So just know, if you have this desire of a dream life, it is there for a reason, and you simply having that desire is all you need to know that it is meant for you and is the path that you should be pursuing. So I just went on my soapbox on this episode. I think I hit all the points that I wanted to say. This is also a great episode for if you just need a quote reference. Here we go. So the affirmation that I have, I also just got the notification to check in for my flight. So the affirmation that I have for this episode is that I know I have what it takes to keep working towards my dreams. I know I have what it takes to keep working towards my dreams. All right, I'm going to check into my flight so I can really make sure I can choose my seats here. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast episode. It really means the world. This is something that was really heavy on my heart right now. Trust me, I know more than anyone, it can be really hard to keep the hope and the faith and to keep going on your goals and dreams. Sometimes it can feel like a really lonely road. Sometimes it can feel like you're making no progress. Sometimes it can feel like you're going backwards. Sometimes it feels like you're not cut out for it. But I'm here to tell you that you are. It's just simply something that not everyone can do. That's why not everyone is doing it, and that's why it doesn't feel easy. But you being someone listening to this podcast, I know you have what it takes. I believe in you. I'm confident in you. And I know that you're willing to do the hard things to live a life that not everyone is living. So I'm sending you guys so much love. I wish I could give every single person a hug. If you guys enjoyed this podcast episode, don't forget to leave a rating and review if you haven't already. It really helps this podcast grow and reach more people. Also screenshotting it and sharing it on your Instagram stories, sending it to a friend, family member, etc. It really goes a long way. And again, if you would like to support this brand or rep some merch, you can shop merch down below. I'll have the link listed in the description box in the show notes. I'm sending you guys so much love, and I hope you guys have a beautiful week. Peace out.